Alright, what's up guys? Got a video here today for you on partly Barbarian and also planning out a character when you've already got the gear, some decent gear for leveling, and a build planned out for later. So this is my Barbarian that I'm going to create turn into an Immortal King Barbarian. So I've got the full IK set, and I've got some leveling gear. I've got Siggins. I've got a Bone Snap for later, potentially. Got my Echoing Glaives. And some Berserker stuff. A couple, mid-level unique hammers and stuff. So we're just gonna jump into this.
Good day.
And kind of hit the ground running. So, first thing you want to look at, I should have looked at this before I ran away, is your leveling gear. So what are the stats? So I need 65 strength to use the full Siggin set with the plus 10 strength from the gloves. And I think and so for the Berserkers, I just need level 3 for the helmet and 43 strength for the axe. So I'm just going to dump some points into strength, starting right out the gate. And then we're going to dump just a bunch of points into vitality, because I've also got the angelic rings and amulet, which those pair really well with the IK set, because really the only thing that you need that you're really lacking from IK is attack rating, and you get attack rating in spades from using 2 angelic rings and the amulet. So that's the plan right now. And as far as just leveling goes for a Barbarian, if you're starting right off the bat, which I would highly recommend against making a Barbarian as your first character. I've done that so many times, and you can get through normal relatively easily with pretty much just whatever gear you find. There's in Act 2, if you use that shop reset trick that I made a video about, you can get 3-socketed flails from Farah off the shop, and you can make the Malice rune word. I think it's Ith-LF is pretty good. And then you can just throw some towels in the other one, just like tal, and poison damage. It'll give you a pretty good run through normal. And then when you get, the problem is with Barbarian is once you get to Nightmare, things start to slow down, and then in Hell it becomes painfully slow, almost to the point that it makes it difficult to progress. And then on top of that, it becomes very slow. You get to start to have a very slow killing speed, and if you try and get Magic Find on top of that, you're just going to be so weak that you're not going to be able to kill anything, and you're going to be dying constantly. So depending on, I'm playing in hardcore. If I was playing in softcore, I would definitely go with double swing, which I still probably am going to use double swing to level, just because it's going to be much quicker. But I haven't decided yet, because one of the things I like to do, if it's not at the start of a ladder reset, even if it is at the start, you can still kind of use public games to slingshot your character a little bit and get through quicker, level up quicker. And as a Barbarian, you can kind of just stand there, and maybe I may go with Concentrate and just keep a shield equipped for a while. And if you're just standing there giving people BO and, you know, your shouts, they're going to be more than happy to have you in your party, especially hardcore, because you're going to give them a huge life boost and a lot of survivability. So, right now, let's see. I've got like a 30% chance to block, which that's not terrible. But my kill speed is still, you know, pretty slow. So once I hit 43 strength, so at level 4, I'm gonna get those double berserk hatchets in the helmet and double swing, and we'll just start, you know, flying through the content here in Act 1. We'll do some Trist runs and get to level 10 or 11 real quick. And then we'll have, you know, full Sigan set at our fingertips. Oh yeah, oh man. Barbarian just feels, it's my favorite class. It just feels so good just to start bashing some stuff. I'm not even gonna pick up this stuff because I just need like another level, and then I will be kind of set on gear. Alright, that was pretty quick. So we're just gonna hang on to this point. I kind of like to wait on putting points into my masteries early on, mostly because you may want to switch back and forth between some weapons kind of early. Let's get a little bit of money out of the bank here so we can buy some stuff. Alright.
You have cleansed.
Alright, so I'm gonna hang on to that point. Oh, and now we want to get some of these, some of these. Okay, so when you're leveling and you go with double swing, you want to put 6 points into double swing because this will completely remove the mana cost from it, which as a barbarian you only have like 12 mana at, starting out, and so that's gonna really help you out with your kill speed. So yeah, so you're going to want to get that level 6 early on, or if you're going to go concentrate, you could just put points into bash. We're definitely going to go double swing though, because we want to get through normal quickly, and then we'll probably respec later into whirlwind, just kind of depending on how things are going. And so yeah, when you're character planning, the main things you want to look at are the stats that you need to use your gear. And it's unfortunate that they kind of didn't do anything to make energy a more useful stat, because while it would be helpful for characters early on to put some points into energy when you have limited mana, the way that they've made the game is that by the time you hit higher level in the game, like my Hammerden, I have just from gear and leveling, because you get a few points of life and a few points of mana per level. The amount varies depending on your class, but just from some classes get up to 4. I think Barbarian gets the lowest at like 1.5. But if you take that, you know, plus 80 levels, you're gonna have, you know, a couple hundred points of mana just from that. So when you factor in the gear, that is quite a bit of mana. And then BO on top of that, there's really no reason to put any points into energy for any character, really. Except for maybe a sorceress if you're using mana shield. But even then, you know, not a whole lot of builds do that. So the main stats you want to look at gearing wise is strength and dexterity. So you just pretty much want the minimum amount of strength for your gear, and depending on your build, your other choice is how much dex you need for your gear and how much block rate you want if you're using a shield, because your block rate is based off dexterity, and everything else you pretty much want to put into vitality, and that's, I would say that's 9 out of 10 builds, maybe even more than that. There's a few niche builds where you would want to do something different. And skill-wise on Barbarian, he has a lot of 1-point wonders in his combat masteries. So once you pick out the weapon, your main weapon for endgame, and this is another reason why I recommend against making a Barbarian as a first character, is it's a little bit better now with respecs available, but initially in the game you did not have respecs. So once you start putting points into these masteries, you're pretty much locked into that weapon type. So if you have a sword mastery maxed out and you find a really good axe or mace, it's useless to your character. So you really need to have your weapon picked out before you max out the mastery. And this is a must do, max out whichever weapon mastery of the type of weapon you're using. And then typically you want to put 1 point into increased stamina, increased speed, iron skin, natural resistance. And if you're going whirlwind, you're going to want to just put 1 point into the prerequisites and then max whirlwind. 1 point into berserk just to kill physical immune enemies. But you got to be very careful using this because it will remove all your armor, all your defense. It will set it to 0, so be very careful because you can just die very quickly when you're using this skill. And then War Cries is kind of where you have the most flexibility in what you want to put the rest of your points into. On this build, I'm probably going to max Shout just for the massive defense boost. Definitely max Battle Orders and 1 point into Battle Command. That's all you need. And then you can put some points into Taunt, Battle Cry, and I probably wouldn't put a point into War Cry unless you're going to go a Singer Barb. But Battle Cry, reducing their damage and defense by a percentage is huge. And then also Taunt will reduce their attack rating and damage as well. So you can put 1 point into those. I would recommend getting, you know, at least a point into Find Item. So you can, people call it horking. You can hork, you know, like act boss corpses or unique monster corpses and get a second chance at finding high level items off of them. Some MF Barb builds will max this out, so if you've got a bunch of extra points and you want to have, you know, better chance at finding items, this is a very good skill to get, not a waste of points at all. And then really whatever extra points you have, you could put them into Leap if you wanted to, you know, be able to leap a little bit farther. It's kind of unnecessary, but it's also kind of, it's fun. You could put more points into natural resist if you. It has a lot of diminishing returns, but at the same time, getting a bunch of resists for if you got extra skill points is not a bad thing at all. You could put it into Iron Skin, but again, it's got diminishing returns, and between the two, resist is probably better than defense. Also, you could do increased speed if you just want to get around quicker. So, and also putting more points into Taunt and Battle Cry is also not a bad idea either. So, hope this helps you out a little bit, guys, and hope that if you guys are interested in seeing some Barbarian leveling guides, check back here. I'm going to be leveling this Barbarian up pretty quickly and going to be playing him a lot because Barbarian is by far my favorite class, and the whole reason I made a hammered into farm was so that I could make a decently strong Barbarian. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and remember to give them the D.